Hello everyone. This felt really weird, like woo! Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing a palette review on something that has been all over YouTube for the last several weeks, and because this palette is pretty expensive I decided to wait until the Sephora VIB Rouge sale before I picked one up and then began to review it myself. And of course I am talking about the Huda Beauty Rose Gold palette. I am sure lots of you have seen this on YouTube and are probably wondering, is it actually worth the splurge or should you purge? So if you want to find out what I think about this palette, make sure you keep on watching and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. Can we just stop and talk about this packaging for a minute? Because, hello. I do have some Huda Beauty eyelashes around here somewhere. I don't have them at my fingertips, but I love the pictures of everybody who kind of puts them on their eyes and then Snapchats it or sticks it on Instagram. So of course you have her iconic packaging here. I love it. You can even see the rose gold on her eyes and just the little details in the packaging. You slip the palette out of this little cardboard thingy right here, and you have all of these gorgeous colors. In this palette you will find 20 shades of the rose gold variety. When I think about the price and then I look at this palette, I actually think the packaging is a little on the cheap side. It is just a cardboard sort of box. It does have a clear lid, which I do like, so you know exactly what colors are in the palette, and it does have a little magnetic closure, so it does snap shut and it doesn't open up, but I would have expected maybe something a little more luxurious in terms of the packaging, but I guess all of the money went into the formula and the development of the eyeshadows rather than the packaging. But I mean, seriously, for the price that we're paying, and I think this was in the $80 range, at least on Sephora Canada's website, I would have expected just something a little bit more. But like I said, if they put the money into the research and the development of these eyeshadows, then I am okay with that, because I'd rather have a solid product and cheap packaging than a cheap product and expensive looking packaging. For me, what counts is the quality of what I'm actually purchasing, and I'm purchasing the eyeshadows in this scenario. A lot of people have talked about these particular shadows on this top row here. Actually, if I flip it around, on this top row here, Huda Beauty described them as textured eyeshadows, and they are best applied with your fingers, so don't bother with a brush when you are looking to work with these shadows up top. But all of the other matte shades and the one little satin shade or satin shimmer shade that is included called Moon Dust can be applied very, very easily with a brush. I haven't had a chance to play with all of the shadows yet, but what I do love is the pigmentation of all of these matte shadows. I am wearing them on my eyes today. I'm actually wearing, let's see, I'm wearing Bay. That was the transition color I had set down. Then I went into Sandalwood. So Bay was this little, what would you call that? Like an ivory color almost, like a yellowy ivory color. Then I went into Sandalwood and I started smoking out my my crease, and I used cocoa as well within my crease just to define it, and that's more of a reddy sort of brown color. And then I went in with Trust Fund and I put that all over my lids, and I am loving it. It looks so gorgeous and the color pops. I was able to get the textured shadows to work on one go, so I didn't have to play around with them too much, but I will warn you right now and say there is a lot of fallout when you are working with the textured shadows, so do make sure to do your face last. I made that mistake when I did my eyes today. I ended up doing them last rather than doing my face last, so I had a whole bunch of fallout that was down on my cheeks. I tried to wipe it away with a brush, but that didn't really work. It just spread it out, so I did have to use makeup remover, redo my concealer, foundation, powder, and all of that good stuff. So it was an extra step that I had to take, but for everybody out there watching this video and learning from my mistakes, do your eyes first when you're using these textured shadows. I talked about the pigmentation a little bit with these shadows. It is large. They have so much color infused in them, which I love, and they blend out very easily, but it is easy to get carried away and get a little heavy-handed and start looking like Mimi from Drew Carey, but you don't want that to happen, so make sure you take your time and build up the color rather than just going balls to the walls and throwing a bunch of shadow onto your eyes. These colors are beautiful, and I remember seeing the selection on Huda's video when she released that several months ago, and I was in love. These are all shades that I absolutely adore, especially the ones on this side right here, and even the textured shadows. I mean, all of those colors are definitely something that I would personally wear on a regular basis. And I started to wonder after a little bit what this palette really reminded me of. And then I remembered my Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. And I'm looking, oops, I just totally dipped my finger into a shadow. I remembered this palette here and all of those colors compared to this, and the more I looked at it, the more I thought, oh my god, these are almost identical. They are so similar in shades that I think you could literally swap the matte shadows from this palette into this palette and you wouldn't really notice a difference. I will say that the Anastasia shadows do feel a little more buttery, whereas the Huda Beauty shadows feel a little more powdery, but that's not to say they still don't work the same. So on this finger here, I have the Anastasia Beverly Hills shadow in the color, let's see here, that was red ochre. And then I also have on my middle finger here the color Henna from Huda's palette. I'm putting it right next to it, and they're not meant to be identical in terms of color swatches, but you can see the Anastasia Beverly Hills shadow, which is on this side here, red ochre, has just a little more pigment, and it really goes a long way, whereas the Huda Beauty shadow is a little more powdery, but you can still blend it out really nicely and build the color up. It's just different textures, different formulas. I'm not saying one is better than the other, but they're just different. The textured shadows are obviously called texture shadows for a reason. It is because they do have a bit of a different texture. They are a little more grainy because it is truly a pigment that has just been packed into a pan. And I just took 24 karat gold on my finger here, and I am applying that onto my hand as a swatch, and you can just see how much that pops. It is beautiful, and all of the textured shadows look exactly like that. Overall, I think this palette is great if you want something that will combine pigments as well as matte shadows. However, if you already have the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette, and if you have a couple of pigments already lying around, I don't think you really need to purchase this. It is pretty expensive, but like I said, if you're a makeup collector or if you're a fan of the line, or if you just want a palette that sort of combines everything in one, then definitely go and pick it up. I don't think you will be disappointed. This is a really great palette. In terms of versatility, I think these colors are a little bit on the bold side, but there are enough neutrals in here that I think you could use them for your everyday look. So your day looks, going to work, that sort of thing, but you can easily jazz it up for a night out. Or if you're one of those people who just doesn't really care and you want to go bold all day, then by all means, you do you, boo. If you have had a chance to use this palette, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I know some people have been complaining about the textured shadows because they do have to be applied with your fingers, and some people have really long nails. I do not. So it was really easy for me to go into my eye and apply the shadows. Others have a little more difficulty, but that's okay. I mean, you will find a way to get it on there regardless. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. Also, you can connect with me on my social media. I am on Facebook, Snapchat, and Instagram. I'm gonna link everything in the description box below for you. Thanks again for watching, everyone. I hope you're having a great day no matter where you are in the world. Stay beautiful, and I will see you soon. Bye, guys.